what would be your top tips for any women considering a career within public life?
Don't try to pretend ever to be anything other than you are. And that's the only way in which I think one can develop self-confidence, because it means that you're never going to have that fear of being found out, which we call the imposter syndrome, which I think many, many, many women have, is that somehow they've made a mistake in appointing me to this job.
You are Lord Speaker at the House of Lords. How did you get into that role? How were you appointed?
I was appointed to the House of Lords in 2004 as an independent, a crossbencher, which means I had no party affiliation. But I was elected the Lord Speaker by the whole House. And in fact, that gives me a degree of legitimacy, which means that I provide a sort of, as it were, a service, pastoral and leadership role for the whole House, by virtue of having been elected by them.
What do you enjoy most about being Lord Speaker for the House of Lords?
I think that, it's a good question, but I think really what I do enjoy is the outreach work that I do to schools and talk to universities, talk to civil society groups. I also do a lot of travel abroad to try and build up institutional relationships with other parliaments so that we can together learn best practice and promote parliamentary democracy. And I have to say I do enjoy that, because I feel that there is some lasting value to that.
We at Chwarae Teg are well aware of the challenges that women face in public life. What sort of challenges have you faced on your journey into public life?
I suppose that to begin with there is always this feeling that women are not going to be as competent as men. I haven't come across that a great deal, but where I have come across it, I've been very, quick in sort of putting it down. There is, I've noticed, for instance, in discussions, roundtable discussions, if it's chaired by a man, men will either, make a token gesture towards women to speak first, or they will, on the whole, just not see women. Women put up their hand to talk, they just don't see them. That is changing, but I think that there has been a bit of a struggle to sort of have one's voice heard.
What do you think society could do to encourage more women into public life?
Make childcare affordable. I mean, women in public life usually are women who have moved up in their career and they have achieved a degree of excellence in whatever field they've chosen. And the reason why they've been able to do that is because there has been a system of affordable childcare, as we see in the Nordic countries. And until very recently, we've really not had that in the UK. And that's a big setback for women, because it means they take big chunks out of their career. They possibly don't rise to the top of their career. If they don't rise to the top of their career, they don't get selected necessarily for public service. And it's grossly unfair. Do
you have a mentor, or did you have a mentor?
I didn't have a mentor as such. I've got lots of very, very good, honest, long existing friends. And I have to say also that my predecessor in the job, who was also a woman, has been enormously helpful. And, I have on many occasions asked her advice as to what one should do, A, B or C. And she's been so good at giving me advice without ever interfering. And there are a lot of other people, both inside and outside Parliament, mostly women, I have to tell you, whom not all, but mostly, who I really do rely on, because they will give me an honest opinion and because they've got a wealth of experience in being a woman in public life.